Today, my friends, I am bringing you the Kreative Quickscoping tutorial. I promised you guys this video about a week ago, and here I am, finally bringing it to you. Let's not waste any time. I want to hop right into the class setup that I'm going to be using. I just threw together this little locust class. You guys can use the SVG or the freaking BO3 for all I care. It doesn't matter, whatever you're comfortable with, but I like the locust. I threw rapid fire on there so I can get my shots off a little bit quicker if I missed the first one. Fast mag so I can reload a bit faster. I threw the LCAR9 on there. You can use whatever pistol you want. You definitely want to have a backup weapon while quickscoping. Your class setup does not want to look anything like this. This is a problem, my friends. This is a problem. This secondary slot right here, if it's empty, you're doing something wrong, okay? You guys have to have an LCAR9, an RK5, or an MR6 in there, and I'll explain why later in the video. I cannot stress that enough. You need to have a secondary. A tactical, I really recommend using a concussion or a shock charge. You can use either one. You can even use like a flashbang or something. Anything that's going to stun your enemies and make them an easy target to hit. For perks, I'm running Ghost, Fast Hands, Blast Suppressor, and Dead Silence. Very stealthy setup. Fast Hands is just there so I can ADS faster after sprinting, and swap to my LCAR9 really quick to get that finishing shots off if I get a hit marker with my locust or something like that. Ghost, I don't want to be detected by UAVs. I don't want the enemies knowing where I'm at. I want to stay off the radar. I don't want hordes of enemies coming to me. I want to come to them. I want to find the enemies with the sniper rifle. Because if they're all coming to me, I'm going to find myself at a disadvantage. That's very important. So I really recommend using Ghost. Dead Silence, if I get a little close to an enemy and they don't see me right away, you know, I can kind of run up to them and get a melee in the back, or whip out my pistol without them really hearing me and turning on me. Blast Suppressor, I'm gonna get into and later in this video, making yourself a hard target to hit, and you can do that by boost jumping a lot. So Blast Suppressor is gonna kind of make myself a little bit quiet while I'm boost jumping, because I don't want all the enemies to know where I am if I'm just trying to boost jump past one enemy. I don't want the whole squad rolling up on me. So Blast Suppressor is pretty important, and that pretty much covers the class setup. In terms of the game, I recommend Nuketown just because you can practice on the mannequins. The game mode, Team Deathmatch, Dominate, it doesn't matter. Just don't put Search and Destroy because you don't want to have the enemies planting no bombs on you and shit. Game rules, Unlimited and Limited, and set up bots. I put 3 on the enemy team. You could put 18 bots on the enemy team if you want. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put 3. Keep them on recruit for now, unless you guys know what you're doing and you're just watching this video for shits and giggles. But just put them on recruit if you guys are trying to learn how to quickscope. And once you guys improve, you can notch up the difficulty, notch up the amount of bots, and eventually you'll be doing something like this. But for now, we're going to tone it down a bit for the sake of this video. And this is a really good way just for you guys to hop into a private match with these rules and these bots before you really get online, just so you can get your shot on, get everything on target, and then you can hop online and not look like a fool. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into the game. I'll see you guys there. Practice, let me just see if I could take him out, get him out of the way. Alright. Jesus. Alright, so let's use the mannequins just for starters. Go really close to it, and you can see how your crosshairs are centered right to his head. Now back up. You want to make sure your crosshairs are still centered. So if you aim in and let go, and you know you're right on his head, that's when the crosshairs are going to be centered. So get right on his head and then zoom out. Now what you want to do is just as soon as you see that one frame where you can see through the scope, you want to shoot. So you're going to find a mannequin, you're going to try to get centered off its head, and you're going to shoot. I was a little off to the left there on his head, but you guys can get the idea of what I'm talking about. Using targets that move is definitely a lot more effective than using targets that don't move. And that's where the LCAR9 comes in, guys. If you miss your first shot and he gets a little bit too close, you whip out your LCAR9. Don't be afraid to whip out your secondary. You know, no one's going to take points off or whatever. It's definitely okay to use your secondary, so do not be afraid to. So you guys can see I'm just moving around the map. The whole thing I'm kind of looking to do here is get my crosshairs centered. Get my crosshairs centered right into the middle of my target. and just aim and fire as quickly as possible. So when people are running, sometimes you want to kind of aim a little bit ahead, kind of lead your shot a little bit, and then hopefully by the time you zoom in, they'll fall right into your crosshairs. But for now, let's try to focus on a stationary target. So we find this mannequin. You want to, a good way to practice is just jump down, get centered as quickly as possible, and then shoot. So jump, get, lock on your target, get centered off, and shoot. Now you could just stand here and center it, but in a real game, you're not going to have that much time to center your shot unless, you know, you're behind the enemy or he doesn't see you. So you want to kind of jump, get centered off, fire. I hit him in the arm there. As long as you're hitting your target somewhere. Jump down, center, shoot as fast as possible. Now, if you're a little off center, this is a good thing to mention. A lot of you guys probably know what drag scoping is. I just attempted one there. I missed. But drag scoping is if, let's say you try to center off, but you're a little off to the left or to the right. What you can do is just drag your scope over and then take the shot. So in you know, in real motion, it would kind of look like this. So I'm a little off to the left, but I dragged my scope over really quickly to the right, and then I fired. That's very effective. It's not as effective in this game as it used to be in like MW3 and things like that. MW3 is really where I learned how to quickscope. That was one of my favorite Call of Duties of all time. It's the first Call of Duty I really ever started playing. So if you guys want to learn how to quickscope, I would definitely do it while Black Ops 3 is still out, before Infinite Warfare comes out, because the thing about Black Ops 3 is there's really no aim assist with sniper rifles. So, you know, if I aim at my target, if he gets out of this little smoke cloud there, when I'm aiming at my target, my scope doesn't slow down when I go over him. In previous games where there was aim assist, as soon as you hovered over the target, your scope would go really slow, and then so it'd be kind of like that. And your scope would go really slow when you were on your target. And it made quickscoping just a lot easier because obviously your scope isn't moving as fast, you have more time to kind of line up your shot. But in Black Ops 3, there isn't no aim assist for snipers. So if you want to learn how to quickscope for Infinite Warfare that's coming out, most likely the snipers in that game are gonna have some type of aim assist, because Infinity Ward usually has that in their games. So definitely learn how to quickscope now. So let's go around and chase some enemies. Oh, where is he? Here's a good thing. So he's running away from me. So when the enemy's running away from you, do not be afraid to hardscope. I don't really recommend quickscoping when the enemy doesn't see you, because if you miss that shot, they turn around and then you pretty much get turned on and you have a very good chance of dying. So if the enemy doesn't see you, if you're close enough, just run up and punch them in the back, and that'll be a one-hit melee kill. You can either just sit there and hardscope them for a second. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's actually what I recommend doing. Do not be afraid to hardscope ever. There's absolutely nothing wrong. The enemy doesn't see me, so I hardscoped. This enemy doesn't see me, so I'm going to hardscope. Make sure I get my shot on target. I do not want to risk missing my shot and the enemy turns around and I end up dying when I could have just hardscoped and gotten an easy kill. The third option you can do in that situation, the enemy doesn't see you, whip out your secondary and then get him. That's actually the safest option, is to just whip out your secondary, whatever it may be. The MR6, I think it's called, the RK5 or the LCAR, whatever your secondary is, safest thing to do is just whip that out and get the free easy kill. So he doesn't see me, hardscope. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I know this is a quickscope tutorial, but I know a lot of people are just, they want to learn how to quickscope, but they're afraid to hardscope. You can't quickscope in every situation. Quickscoping is a very situational thing. See, in that situation, I had to quickscope, and now I'm behind him, now I can hardscope. If the enemy sees you or starts firing at you first, you definitely want to quickscope, because if he's firing at you first, there's no chance that you're going to be able to have time to get a hardscope off. So that really covers all the main points of this video. There are a few other like little tips I have for you guys. If you actually go into the settings menu and you go to controls and go to button layout, I use stick and move. That means that my jump button is actually by tapping in R3 or RT, I believe it is, on the Xbox One they call it. or no, RS on the Xbox One. So tap in RS or R3 and that will actually jump. Now it takes a while to get used to, and I did mention this in my first video where I went over the top 5 Black Ops 3 tips and tricks. So if you guys want to watch that, you can. But I'll just cover this quickly in this video. It allows me to jump and aim at the same time, and this is really effective for quickscoping too, because if I need to ever jump, you know, or let's say an enemy's running at me, I can slide, jump over him, and turn as I'm jumping and get that shot off. So I don't have to take my right thumb off the trigger, or because if this is what it would look like if I had to tap X, I would have to slide, jump over the enemy, and then turn and then shoot, and by that time he's probably already turned around and shot me. So I'm pretty much screwed in that situation. So I map the jump button to R3 so I can turn, aim in the air, do all these fancy maneuvers mid-air, and that just makes me a really hard target to hit. And that's also a great strategy for if you're going up against someone who also has a sniper. So if you're going up against someone who just has an assault rifle, you know, you're at a disadvantage if you're very close up. But if you know how to quickscope, you can make that to your advantage, because if you're a very, very accurate quickscoper, it only takes 1 shot to get the kill. An assault rifle is going to take 3, 4, maybe even 5 shots. So if you're a really, really accurate sniper, you always have the advantage in any situation. But I'm not the most accurate sniper. That's why I like to whip out my secondary in certain situations, so definitely don't be afraid to do that. But any advantage that I can get, since I'm not the most accurate player, I'm gonna take. So mapping that R3 jump button is an advantage for me, because if I'm going up against another assault rifle, I can make myself a very hard target to hit. Now it might be a little bit harder to hit my shot sometimes, but if my shot's on, it's on, and I'm not gonna miss that shot. If you get a hit marker with your sniper rifle, 1 or 2 shots from this LCAR-9 will just finish the job. So definitely use a secondary when sniping. I can't stress that enough, guys. I know I'm sounding a little bit repetitive, but it's very, very important that you have some type of secondary, because your sniper is not the most effective weapon in every situation. Now, when going up against someone else who's sniping, if they're standing still and you're standing still, it's a 50-50 gunfight. You never want to have it be a 50-50 gunfight in any gunfight. You always want the odds to be in your favor, and 50-50 is not in your favor. That's just evenly matched. That's not what you guys want. So by having that R3 jump button, I can make myself a very hard target to hit by jumping and aiming. Now it may be a little tedious to jump and aim at the same time and try to get your quickscope off, but if you can kind of predict where the enemy's going to be by the time you land, or see, that was very close, I did miss, but that was, oh wow, okay. But the point is, make yourself a hard target to hit, especially when going up against other snipers, because I need to get killed so I get my ammo back, especially because you do not want to have a 50-50 gunfight. By making yourself a hard target, the odds are now in your favor, and you're most likely going to win that gunfight. And that's how you can keep a good KD while using a sniper. A lot of people who try to learn how to snipe, they'll get a couple nice quickscopes in, and they'll get, you know, they'll be a good quickscoper. It's nothing wrong with your technique or something like that. It's just the fact that you're entering all these 50-50 gunfights where you're just standing right in front of the enemy and hoping that you get your shot off first. If you don't get your shot off first, you're pretty much done. See right there, I waited too long to shoot, he got my shot off, and I just stood still, so I died. If I were to jump around and make myself a hard target, I most likely would have won that gunfight. So if you guys are sniping or quickscoping in this game, and you find yourself constantly going negative, which is something that I faced in MW3, I thought, you know, I was just a horrible sniper, but that really wasn't the case. It was just the gunfights that I was entering. I wasn't really picking my battles wisely, and I was making myself a very easy target to hit. Now in Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare and all that, you have all the boost jumping. You can make yourself very difficult to hit. But if you guys are, you know, if you're playing previous games, Black Ops 2, whatever, just a simple jump, even, like, you know, you don't even have to boost jump in this game. Don't be afraid to just, you know, do a single jump. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's find an enemy. Nice little jump, bang, you know, I made myself a hard target to hit. He didn't expect me to jump. I was moving very quickly. I missed my shot. LCAR-9 finishes the job. So before I get too repetitive, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for the quickscope tutorial. Just a quick little video. I just wanted to give you guys a few tips and tricks. So definitely go into a private match before every time you play for about 10 minutes, and just do this. Play with some bots on recruit, and each time, if the as soon as you see the recruit bots getting a little bit too easy for you, knock it up to regular difficulty, and so on and so forth, until you really find yourself just really being a beast. So with all that said, guys, I'm gonna be signing out now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed the gameplay. If you guys didn't see my last video, I mentioned I got a new mic. In the last video, I had the mic a little bit too close to my mouth, so I backed it up a little bit in this video. Hopefully the audio is a little more clear and crisp. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go. I will record the sniper guide video. That's just gonna be a voiceover, not a live comm, but be on the lookout for that either later today or tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.